So it's this little bar you see on the bottom of the screen, and it show and hide it by the little icon that you see on the bar here. And what it does is it brings out all of the accessibility features that are already built in. Um, there are all of these access features now that are built right into the operating systems of Macs, PCs, everything, but nobody's using them. This brings them out so that people are aware of them, so they're easy to use, and so people are not afraid to use them. So the first one we call text size. It's actually, there is a text size feature, and this isn't it. This is actually screen scaling, and it's not in the accessibility section at all. It's over in the display section. But we call it text size because if we wrote screen scaling, nobody would click on it anyway. And what it does is, on a web page, you can use a control plus and you can make things larger. But if I can't read this text, then I also can't read this text. And blowing this text up doesn't help me use my computer because I still can't do this. I can't do this. I can't deal with anything else, the settings or the menus or anything else. So we don't need to have part of the screen made larger. What we need to do is to have everything larger so that I can see what that says. So this screen scaling just makes everything on the screen larger. You can see even watch the desktop icons, and you can see even the desktop icons get bigger and the text under the icons. So you could just make this larger to the point where it needs to be for you to be able to see. Um, People are older. This is amazing. We had one library who put it in. Same day, this woman came up who was older and said, "Oh, finally, a library that cares about old people." And they said, um, "Yeah, yeah, we do." They had forgotten about the Morphic. They just installed it. And then she said, "And this is the first library where I can actually use the computers. All the other libraries are just so small you can't see them, but not yours." And they're going, we have the same computers as everybody. I don't know what they were talking about. It was only after they left that it occurred to them that the person just sat down at the computer, saw the text size button, and had made it larger and found they could use the computer. And as she left, she said, "This is the only library I'm going to use from now on." Um, so making it just really easy to find and use. And it's not like you have to, look for it or it's just right there, it's like text size. Oh, I can't see, click, and it gets larger. There's also a magnifier that you can use if you're having trouble seeing something small, like, oh, that's what that symbol is. Um, and by the way, the mouse works just fine when it's up. So if you're having trouble getting right where you want it to be, you can do that. And then you can click and then select and use the mouse and use the menus and do everything else you want to do with the magnifier turned on. The next one is snip. And this is a feature that many of us know, and we know the secret handshake of keys to hit. There's a lot of people who can't do that, can't remember that, older people. It's buried in a menu someplace. But this brings it right out and lets them just take a picture of anything they want. We also call it sort of the coupon clipping feature. But anything they see any place and they want to show somebody, they're on the web, they can take a picture. I can take a picture of this little icon on the desktop, and I can paste it into an email or whatever I want to. Um, and one thing that's really helpful for people who have trouble using computers is that when they have a problem, they can just do this, take a picture of whatever they're having a problem of, and then put it in an email and say, "I don't know what this means," or "I don't know how to use this." Um, and for all of you, if you've ever had an error dialog pop up, and then when you call tech support and then they asked you what it said, and you went, "I don't remember what it said. I didn't understand it when I read it." When it pops up now, you take a picture of it, put it in a draft email or some Word document, any place you want to. And then when they call up and ask for help, you can go look at it or you can show it to them and you know what it says. The next one is read selected. Now, the Microsoft in Word and OneNote and oh, by the way, would you like us to record this? I didn't. Would that be of help to you?
I'm recording it right now.
Or you are? Oh, okay, good. Then we're all set. Um, Word, OneNote, and Edge, and they all work differently, and it won't work anywhere else. So this is using the built-in voicing capabilities in Windows, but it allows you to, in any application, anywhere, you can select any text and just click on it and
A
have
stacked
that,
linked inherited problem or variation in the functionality of one or more of the three classes of cone cells.
and it'll have it read to you. Now, this is important for people who have low vision, people who are older and are just having trouble, or people who have trouble reading for a long time. Um, But it's also critical for people who have dyslexia, not just because it makes it easier for them to read, but because it allows them to write. Have you ever written an email and then you sent it and you went, oh, and you looked at it and you went, I wish I'd read this before I sent it. It's going to make me look like an idiot. I misspelled this word and that's the wrong word here and there's word missing there. Um, Proofreading is nigh on impossible if you have dyslexia, and what you're seeing is the letters jumping back and forth. Okay. So think of the letters hopping back and forth and reversing and hopping over each other. And that makes it hard to read. But with reading, you just have to decipher what's there. If you're trying to proofread what you wrote and you can't tell where the letters are, you can't tell if what you're seeing 1 second or what you're seeing the next second is actually what's on the page. And so with this, you type out your message, you highlight it, you click it, and it'll pick out all your errors. You can hear your errors very, very quickly. It also helps for those of us who don't even do a good job of proofreading our own, but when you hear it, you hear it. Now, for all of these things, as I said, they're built in, and you'll see this little thing pop up when I point to them. So it not only lets you, tells you exactly what it is and how to use it, but also how to make adjustments. So for example, on the reading, it says to change settings, right click. So you click settings, and then you can see that you can change the voice or the speed of the reading. All of those things are right there. Now, interestingly, this is inside the control panels or the settings panels. But now it looks like you belong there because it's not like you went into settings. A matter of fact, most people don't even realize they're in the settings panel. They just think that they're doing the settings for that. The next one is contrast. And again, this was for people who have low vision. And you can set different kinds. You can have black with yellow text. I mean, you can have it be high or low contrast. And we find that some people need to have low contrast in order to read. People with dyslexia and stuff will sometimes report that. Some people with some types of dyslexia. Um, the also surprisingly found people who had migraines telling us that they use this one, which is called Dusk, and then we just use this as the default. And again, you can right click on it and you can change it to anything you want. Um, that they had 1/3 the migraines that they had before they were using this. So that was nice. Color blindness, again, of all the people I've talked to, and if you look on here, you'll see it says it affects 1 in 12 males and 1 in 200 females. And that's a lot of people, okay? And yet, whenever I've talked to people who had color blindness, only four, only I ran some of the other day, five people had even knew there's a feature for adjusting the colors so that they can shift. Now, if you have there's a couple of types, but if you have the one type of red-green color blindness, you would see a uniform dot pattern here. You wouldn't see any numbers at all. But you can see by doing a color filter, you can shift the colors and make things that are not clear clearer. So even those of us who can see color can see this more clearly than you could perhaps here. And then there's dark mode, night mode, and you can then get into selecting lots of other different settings as well. Pointer size, which is one of the first things I always adjust since I can't find my pointer otherwise. But you can also click all accessibility and it drops you right in. And now here's all the accessibility settings. But because I got to them in a way that looks like I'm supposed to, it doesn't feel like I'm digging around in the settings panels where I might get myself in trouble. And here you see the text size feature, which is not the same as this one. This one just makes text larger, but not everything else. And it doesn't work and it blows up on some apps and things like this. Now, one of the things that someone says, oh, this looks like an overlay. You may have heard of that. Overlays only work on a website and they only work on one website and not on any other. These are not that. These are actually things that are in the operating system. They work on every page, on every website. They work on the web. They work off the web. They work in every app. They work in the, and they just work everywhere. It's just the changing the actual operating system of the computer. Now, so this is it. As I said, it's free. It deploys in between 2 and 8 seconds, depending upon which computer you're doing it on. Um, and if you're doing this at a institution, like putting in all the computers at an institution, um, the one of the things you can do is we allow institutions to add 3 additional buttons and you get to pick what they are. The University of Maryland, and it's done with a configuration file. So I'm just clicking on things that change the configuration file. They wanted it to have Google Drive. This is their Canvas, their education. And then their kids would never sign out. It takes 3 clicks to sign out, and nobody ever signed out. So they said, can you make one button that you click and it'll sign you out of Windows? So we did. Um, University of Michigan wanted 3 different buttons. They wanted mprint, which is their printing system, so that people could print off the computer they were on and it would print on a local printer, and Canvas and email. The library, they chose 3 different ones. One of them they chose is they said one of the problems they have is people come in with a USB stick flash drive and they stick it in the side of the computer and then they go look for a librarian because they have a resume on there, but they have no idea how to find it. And it didn't occur to me, but that's not an easy task. You have to first know to hit the Windows key, then you need to type File Explorer, and then you need to know that you need to type, go over and click on this PC. And then when you get to this PC, you get a bunch of stuff like this. And it's like, which one of these is, and they all, none of them look like a flash drive. And the flash drive says Tom's Trucking on it. And none of these say Tom's Trucking. So how are they going to know what it is? Now, you and I would say, well, it's not going to be one of these. These are networks. This one's a local device. So that whatever the other thing that's up here next to this is going to be the USB. Well, that's great, but this isn't for us. This is for everybody else who can't figure out what to do. So they asked us to add this. You plug in the USB, you click USB drive open, you just click on it, and it opens right up. And there's their resume in front of them. They double click on their resume, and it launches Word. And now they edit their resume, save it, and walk off. And they didn't have to know what a file folder was, or Finder, or a File Explorer, or any of these things. It just was very easy to use. The other thing they asked for was translate tools. They had lots of people coming in who had documents, aid to family with dependent children, or something, but it wasn't in their language. And so it just took them to a place that says, well, here's one that you can do web or text or documents, or here's another one that you can web or text. And it gave all the different places that you can um, find things that translate. And now we'll be adding a section that says that depending upon what you're using, it may already do it because most of the smartphones and stuff have that built in, although the computers are getting there.
Mhm.
If you don't know how to spell Morphic, it's Morphic, and it's always .org. It's not ever .com. Don't go off because there is a Morphic.com someplace that does something. And it just says get Morphic free. You click here. You can click Mac OS or Windows. You click, it downloads it, and there you go. It's done. And then you can, well, here, I'll just install it over the top of the one I've got. So if I want to install it, it pops up. I say, yep, I accept it. And you say install, and it goes, blah, blah, blah. It's copying them. Bingo, it's done. Okay, so it took that long to install Morphic on the computer. I actually, here we go. We can install it a second time because I actually did it twice. So here we go. Install, finish, and there you go. So that's how long
Okay.
it takes to install and how easy it is to install. And I encourage you, install this on your home computers and try it. Many
Okay.
people find that these things are very useful, even if they don't have a disability. They just like the ability to, make things larger when they get to the end of the day, or it's very fine. If they have a big spreadsheet, they sometimes want to make it get more desktop. They can go the other direction.
Learn and try. Go ahead.
So this is the Learn and Try tool. And this is to explore tools that can make computers accessible and easier to use. Okay. And so with the tool, you can discover there's over 314 of them, um, but you can find out which ones would be right for you on your device. You can then learn about the tools and then you can actually try them. 1 out of 3 of the tools in here are actually already in the computer you have. And 9 out of 10 are free or they're free to try. So it's really easy to do. There's a little video to walk you through it. I do recommend if you are interested in what kinds of things might these tools do, come down here. It says you want to learn more before you search. For example, if people have trouble reading, it tells you roughly the kinds of things that it works with. People have trouble reading, dyslexia, understanding, etc. But then you click on here and it gives you a list of all kinds of features. And reading through this, you go, oh, I didn't know you could do that. So before you try and shop, it might be good to see what kind of options you have. Like what kind of features might something have that I'm looking for. But we also include this on the page, which I'll show you in a second. Um, use the tool finder. It comes in. I'm going to answer a few questions. We don't store any information. Your answers are only used to help find tools. And when you close your browser, it's gone. Matter of fact, it only exists in your browser while you're using it. And when you log into the page, it downloads it and then it runs it all locally. So there's nothing anybody that's looking in. There's no AI gathering information about you. It's all runs locally on your machine, and when you close it out, it's completely gone. So you start off. Are you doing this for yourself or somebody else? You say somebody else, and it says what kind of problems are they having? So you could say, well, reading and writing and focus. They're just having trouble with focus. And so then you click next, and you say, what platforms are you looking for? And you'd say, well, Windows. Um, but if you had a computer at home that was a Mac and you had a Windows you'd click them both, saying, well, because I want to look for things that work on this and things that work on both. And it said I found 86 tools. So you say, show me the tools. And so actually it found, oh, here we go. There's I'm showing you a prototype that we just finished up last night, and I see it didn't carry that one button through. I'll have to fix that. So here's your 86 tools. And um, and each one of them here gives you a little quick capsulization about it. So this one does reading, this one does reading and writing. And you can see it runs on both platforms, whereas this only runs on a Mac. So you might say, well, gee, I think I would like to have one that I could use at home and school. And this one covers these two things. And then you'd say, tell me more about it. You click and it opens it up, gives you a description, gives you a short video about it, tells you, all of the platforms it runs on. And even before you open it, you can see that it's free. There's a free trial or you can get lifetime. So you can say, how could be a lifetime license if it's free? And many of them have a tier that's free, and then you can have more features if you want to pay money. So this one's completely free. This one's free, and you can buy a lifetime version of it. You can also buy a subscription version of it, and it has a free trial. So you can see all of that. And again, you can open it up and see more. Some of them will actually have. Now we make these videos really short, like 1 minute long, so that it's easy for you to look at them. And then many of them will have longer videos. And always there's ability to click and go to the website and get all the information you want to. So this is mostly meant to make it easy for you to look around and find things. So here's one that's got, an extra video on it as well. All right, so you're going through this big long list, and there's 87 of them, and let's say you're looking for somebody and you say, oh, this looks like something good. So it says if I click this, I can add it to a list. If you were going a little slower, you would have seen at the top that it said that there's a place up here where you can have a list. And as you go through, you can click on things. There's the one I just clicked on. So as you find things that you think are interesting, you can click on them. Um, I'm going to show them all here, and you can come down and again, look at this one. Oh, that looks like something I might want, so I'll click on that, etc. And so these were all reading aids. When I get down to the writing aids, it'll give you a header that says, okay, so these are writing aids now. Um, if something was reading and writing, then the second time it will gray it out saying, well, you already had this one up above. So you can click on it again and see the whole thing if you want to, but you don't have to look at it again if you're not interested in seeing it a second time. And again, this has this feature at the top that we talked about from the front page. If you want to say, well, if I'm looking at writing aids, what should I look for? You can look and you can see the different features that you might be interested in finding. Find the ones you're interested in, and you can add them to your list as well. Okay. Then when you're all done, I'm going to add that one to my list. You can go back up to the top, and here's the list of the things you found. Now, remember I said that when you go away, it forgets everything. So after you spend all that time finding all these pieces, it'd be nice if you could save this list. So you can just click on uh, there to copy a link. And now it has a link, which you can then go into an email, for example, paste that link. And anytime you click on the link, it'll open this up just like you see it here, with these things already marked and the things you found at the top. So you could send that to somebody else and they would be able to click on that link and have it open up the program, and they would be able to see just the ones that you had highlighted. And if you click on these, it opens them up just like it is down below. So you can still get all the same information that they got, except that they don't have to go through and find them in the list of 60. You can also just share it with them this way if you have them on your share list. So I can click on this thing and I'm just going to go to Crystal, and there I just sent her the link. Oops, I'm not signed in on this computer. But it would send it off to the individual um, as a link. So that's the learn and try tool. Um, if you want to, for example, say, well, I just want to see the free ones, you can just do that. You click here, and now it removed it. So instead of 86, there's now 56. And if you say, well, just show me the ones that are built in, I can do that. And now it's down to 14 tools that are just completely built into your product already. Okay.
I just wanted to point out also, because there was conversation in the chat before about Morphic. Morphic is for computers, not iPads or tablets or phones. This learn and try tool, however, covers accessibility tools on all of these devices.
Yep. Correct. One of the reasons we created this was that we were going out into a lot of rural and remote places, and they were all using Chromebooks. And they said, "Oh, we need to have this, but it doesn't work." And I said, "Well, you know about all the features that are built into the Chromebooks already." And they go, "What do you mean?" And so we created this so that you can, for example, if you have Chromebooks, you can just say, "Show me the ones for the Chromebooks," and so there are, if I uncheck these things, you can find that there are 10 different tools that are built into the Chromebooks, 11 tools that are built into the Chromebooks already. And so you can see what they are right here. And if you just wanted to explore what's already in your Chromebook.
All
And
right.
again, this is free. It's free to use. Um, it has everything that exists. And unlike a lot of places, this includes all the stuff that's built in, as well as stuff you can get free, as well as stuff you can buy. A lot of places when you go out, you just find out the stuff that you can buy because that's what they want to do. They want to sell you something. So this is a good way of doing that.
And Greg, just is this still in beta or kind of pilot testing, or it's fully released?
You can go to learnandtry.org, and there's one there that says that it's quote in beta. You click on a link and you can use it. It's only because we're playing around with the interface. The one I'm showing you right now is one that we are actually working on as we speak. We were working on it before we started the session, and so you saw that the one online works, but this one you saw when I came to the page.
Hmm.
Didn't carry forward these two clicks, and so I had to re-click them. But yeah, um, so it's all of the tool. What's in beta is the actual program. The data inside are all real, and they're all there. And by the way, those of you interested in AI, this program was written from scratch in about 1.5 weeks using AI, where and not writing a line of code, just talking to the AI and say, I want to create a tool like this, blah, 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 blah. Gave him the things, Um, just the other day, we had show instructions for this page, and it was light blue, and nobody ever noticed it. So we just said, make it pink. And so it made it pink. And this whole feature that you see here was just created in about, 45 minutes by just describing one big long thing, and it just did it. So it's amazing. But the key to this is that it means that instead of you having to rely on some engineer or some programmer to decide what the tools should look like that you need to use, you are very rapidly getting to the point where you can just say, I don't see what I want. Can you make me a tool that does this? And it will do it. And you just have to, when it does it, and it acts as an assistant that's very able, very quick, but doesn't lacks a little common sense. So as you are asking it to do things, it'll do it, and then you'd say, I know that's what I asked for, but that's not what I want. And it's like, I hate this damn machine. I think I'm going to sell it. It won't do what I want it to, only what I tell it. So you will learn after a while to just keep telling it until it gets it right. But that doesn't take any time. You guys can really start thinking about what it is you want to have tools do for you. And soon you'll be able to do it yourself without having to rely on somebody else to do it for you. Now you should see a
Color blindness. Yeah.
Windows desktop.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
And this works on Mac and it works on Windows.